Hey y'all, hey, hope all is well with you. I am Leslie. You can call me Leslie and I will answer because it's still my name. What are you? So, um, this is an impromptu video. And y'all are crooked. Hold on. So y'all was supposed to get a video. My goal is to post on Mondays and Thursdays. They'll be long form. They could be running from 15 minutes as much as 40 minutes. Somewhere around there. So the Monday one is like a so long or something I made or worked on that week or whatever. And then Thursday is going to be like a look back in time because if y'all don't already know, I have enough content that I can give y'all some videos for a good while. But it's the editing. Editing kills you every time when it comes down to it, if you don't already know. It takes time, things that are relevant. I have a tendency, as I have started to um, vlog more and look at what I'm doing or listening to my videos, I realize one, I say a lot. Two, I say so a lot. Three, sometimes I just be rambling. That means it's a squirrel moment. I have them. And I'm sure other people have the exact same issue when it comes to getting used to or recognizing what they're doing as a video themselves. And I do it a lot. So there I go. I am trying to work on watching, not necessarily watching my words, sort of, so that I don't have to edit as long or remove a considerable amount of stuff. Now, there were certain things that I used to say that I no longer say. It's nothing like anything bad. I have my company name is actually Less Hands Creation. I do have an LLC, but I don't talk about it anymore. Not because I don't do that part anymore, but because to me, this is more of a channel about me, not necessarily my company. So with me doing that, I don't say my sayings anymore. So I want to remove that out. But then I thought about it. Y'all may have to just hear it. Because if I had to take that out, like my intros are different. We find better ways of doing things and or saying things or changing the way something is said. And that's what we do. Okay. So that's a tidbit. Now, after the tidbit, let me tell you why. Oh, as you know, while I'm talking to you, I'm going to be cleaning up. Why? Because my room is a mess because of this week. Okay. All right. So a couple weeks back, I had went to. It's probably about 3 weeks now, maybe even 4. I went to Atlanta. I still ain't put that video out because I ain't edited it. So I went to some fabric stores because I had about 4 clients who needed certain things for their projects. And I was debating whether to just like have the stuff shipped to me or to sit up there and go get the fabric myself. That way, if I seen anything else that I needed, I could get it. And that's what I did. Well, in the process, in the process of doing that, I came back and which oddly enough, usually I am not exhausted from going on trips to Atlanta, but I've been slightly under the weather. Not like now, y'all. Not now. But when I went, I was actually literally coming off being sick. And so it tired me out. And I was, let's just say I was struggling, y'all. And with me struggling, it took me a couple of days to kind of recoup. After I recouped, I had to get to the projects. I'll tell you about this fabric momentarily, okay? Let me finish my story. Um, I ended up going into one project. Now, I did go live about that project, which I made a 3-piece outfit. The pants that I made were a Simplicity 3073. The top was Simplicity's 3002, and I'll pop up a picture of the actual final project. Now, the corset that I did, it wasn't like to be a cinched one. It was, so I did that, got that done, and that was a process. I ended up working on it longer than anticipated, and the process took longer. One, because the top was made out of chiffon. Two, I did go live, I think, on one of the or two of the days that I was working on it, which was the pants and like kind of a breakdown or whatever. Let me tell you, let's just say I was working on that project for 3 days straight. It wouldn't take me that long, probably 4 days, because I had to mentally think and breathe and everything, because the top was made out of chiffon, so that was a lot of print seams. It's a top that I did before, but I wasn't making it for me. I was making it for somebody else. So that was a task by itself, you know, tailoring it and making it fit for them. But it ended up, it worked, everything worked out. And so I took that. And after I finished that, I kind of like mentally needed, like, I say, a day. That's one thing I did realize. I need to buy me some good shears. Good shears. No, it's not going to tear. So I'm going to have to do it the other way. I'm going to have to get me some. That's one thing is going to be on the ticket of I'm definitely going to be buying is some good shears. So that was a process, and being it was a process, I was exhausted from the whole thing. So I couldn't go right into my next project. So the next project I had to do, which I will admit, this was a prom dress. And when I went to Atlanta, I did purchase the fabric for the dress. But it's like everything that I picked up wasn't really what I was looking for. The dress turned out really great. But it's like the fabric, it was okay. The fabric, it was like I bought 2 different kinds, and it was like, is this what I want? And that's one thing I don't like. I'm usually pretty good about when I go to the store, especially fabric stores, because that is my candy store. And I just wasn't, maybe it was because I was like under the weather or whatever. I just was not like, nothing was like saying, take me home. It was like, I gotta get this. I don't like that feeling. That was probably the most horriblest feeling ever. It wasn't, I gotta, it was like, okay, I will. I'll do it, It's like, eh. So I didn't really, I was like just okay with it. So then it took me a minute to get started on that, but I worked on it the weekend before. Or I was 3 weeks out. So the week after the blue outfit, the 3-piece blue outfit, it was the next weekend I was working on the prom dress. and worked on it. But I still had to have them come get fitted because this is way easiest way. So we wear regular bras, regular panties for most of the garments we wear. We don't wear any specialty gear, right? We just kind of wear whatever it is, right? Being that that's what we do, guess what happens when you have a custom dress that's supposed to be fitted, especially the bust area, when you come to having that custom done? What happens is the outfit doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? Because you decide to wear a bra that pushes your boobs up and out the dress or garment. You decide to wear a girdle that gives you a different shape, which affects how long it takes a person to adjust the alteration, or to change a look, or to make it fit better. Those things make a difference. So I pretty much tell everybody, when you come, have the garment you're planning to wear underneath on, so that, yes, I'll get your measurements. Yes, I'll do that. But if you decide to wear something different, it does affect how things fit. Now, I used to think that wasn't a big issue, but guess what? It is. It is. I learned it when I used to do fashion shows. So when you plan for fashion shows or whatever, you plan for whatever model to wear, whatever, right? So I remember I had this one model. I knew she was going to wear this. It was I don't even know if I still got a picture of it. If I still have a picture, I'll put it up. So it was a floor length skirt and top. The top was like a chiffon. Yeah, it was a chiffon, but it had ruffles in car print off the top. And then there was ruffles on the bottom of the skirt. So the young lady came to get fitted in the dress for the show. I was like, cool duckets, work, no problem. I ain't think about it, nothing at all. Now this skirt is kind of form fitting. Well, it's not kind of, but it was a stretch. I think it was like a stretch twill or a sateen, because it had a great feel to it. I mean, I love the feel of it. Anyway, so she came and got fitted. We, of course, had everything planned. I had the person's name on it. The day of the show, she couldn't put the skirt on. Now, mind you, she came and got tried it on literally maybe 2 days, 3 days before. It is not like she gained weight in 2 or 3 days. You know what was different? The foundation she was wearing changed her shape in such a way that it affected how it fit. So she could not wear that outfit. I had to pull. Luckily, when I did shows, I pretty much kept the same kind of, not necessarily shape, but all of them were plus size, and pretty much I could kind of shift outfits. And so I had to shift the outfit from her to somebody else. But I had no choice at all. Yeah, at all. So with that being said, I finished that. And then we had an young lady, I did her alterations to her prom dress. And I worked with her last year, which that's a video I really need to get out, because I love themes. I love having and working with people who have a theme in mind. It doesn't matter that they don't have to have everything completely finished, ironed out, but if they have a good theme, I can work from it. We do pretty good there. A vibe they want. So young lady had a simple pink dress, and she wanted me to embellish it and add to it. And that one was probably like the quickest alteration that I did. But I'm going to do a video on that. And it's not, that one's going to be probably about 15-20 minutes or whatever. I like that one because of the fact I was able to use fabric that I already had. I didn't have to shop for nothing. You know, she impromptu contacted me. It was like the week after I had been to Atlanta, and I was like, oh my God, I hope I can do it, because I'm like, I don't know what I got. I don't know what, but just so happened, when she sent me her vision, I had what she needed. I had to go buy nothing. That makes, and that got rid of some more stuff out of my stash. So we did that. Then it was another basic alteration. So I've had, for the last, I say 4 days, I've been in here like grinding. The prom dress I had to kind of give myself breaks from because the dress was heavy. The dress was heavy. And it wasn't like something was wrong with the dress, but the dress was heavy. So it was like I was getting a real arm workout. And I was like, this is about to drive me nuts. I was happy that it turned out when I wasn't as happy with the fabric selection that I made. I made the fabric selection. Now, mind you, I bought like two different kinds of fabric because of what the base I needed to kind of work with the other fabric. It was, whew, but the dress was heavy. Anyway, so that's kind of why y'all didn't get a video. So I apologize about that. And give me some grace. I ask that you give me grace because I'm going to get my other scissors. Whew, I need some scissors that cut better, but they don't have to be perfect, but they just need to be better than what I was doing. I'm just asking you to give me some grace. I'm going to get it together. It's just going to take a minute to get everything like the way I want it, time-wise, because I'm probably going to have to like plan a day that I can just do like editing. But this time of year is kind of hard for me. You know, people talk about prom season. I had vowed probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe even longer, that I'm only going to do one custom prom dress a year. That is it. Nothing else. And I know people are like, what? No. One custom prom dress a year. Because when you don't have a clear vision of what you want, it makes it harder for me to create what you want. And young kids, to be honest, are picky. They're more picky. And if they can't communicate with you to tell you what they're looking for, and then they come in the door and you do what you think they wanted, and then you don't do it, but they don't tell you you didn't do it, I don't like unsatisfied customers. Not saying that I've had them, but some of these kids don't think about when you have a vision and you send a picture of the vision, but one, they're not looking at the cost and the cost to be the boss. Cost for that item. They're not looking at, so do you really want that fabric? Are you willing to pay that much? Is your parents willing to pay that much? Because they're picking dresses that cost maybe $2,000. They're wearing it one night. They may be picking a dress that is harder to translate into a more inexpensive dress, but custom dresses, period, are not cheap. And people is the thought process like, why are you charging me so much? Ma'am, sir. Hello. Ma'am, sir. I'm not charging you so much. I'm charging you the going rate. And with the going rate, depending on where you live, depends on what you charge. But a going rate also equates to how many years a person been doing it. I fell into alterations. I didn't fall into sewing. I didn't fall into that. I've been sewing since I was 4 years old. Well, okay, maybe not physically sewing, y'all. I was taught at the age of 4, but at that time I was making baby doll clothes. Little baby clothes and stuff for my baby. That's what I was doing at that time. But I started to learn how to sew between 4 to 6. But I'm thinking it was 4 years old because that's what my auntie told me. She's the one who taught me. And being that I've been sewing that long, and then on top of that, yeah, I had some years of hiatus where I didn't do a lot of sewing. So if I wanted to, I could probably, out of all the years, I probably didn't sew 10 years. Maybe. Because I've always made stuff for me because of my shape. That has always been the reason why plus I don't like looking like everybody else. I don't. I like, as they say, some people would say, I like to be the center of attention sometimes. Just because. I will wear an outfit on a random, and it could be like too bold for somebody else, and a lot. I like that. I like the fact that I get to walk in a room and not look like everybody else. I love it. I love the fact that when I walk in a room, the clothes fit me. Because when I used to buy clothes and clothes didn't fit, or I felt like I was tugging and pulling, that was a knot. That was a knot for me. Maybe not for others, but it drove me nuts, even when I was in my teens. And I've always been curvaceous. So as a teen and clothes not fitting, drove me bonkers. But I couldn't do nothing about it because they never made clothes and still really don't make clothes for my curves to this day. So, and it's more so about the difference. So, with that being said, if y'all don't already know, I am very curvaceous. And being very curvaceous, clothes don't fit like everybody else's. So, it's a beautiful thing when I have the capability to make my clothes to fit me. I realized, y'all, that I was getting ready to go in and telling y'all about this fabric, but it was going to be way too long. So I'm breaking it up into parts, and so you will catch where the fabric came from and what the fabric content is. Make sure if you haven't already, like and subscribe to my channel, and I will check you out soon.